That's going to be big, by the way, for everybody in the chat, because we are going to do a bunch of giveaways. I reached out already to get some jerseys in. So we're going to do a bunch of giveaways, and you got to be a member to be a giveaway or to be entered into the giveaway. So 50 more.
Oh, the members are going to spike.
Yep, the members
are that Darius. By the way, don't give away that Darius Cooper jersey, because if he makes the team, he's not going to be 41.
Yeah, he's going to have to get a prime number, Darius Cooper. John, this kid's going to have a career in this league. We'll see how it all shakes out. James, thank you, brother. Love you, man, and appreciate the support of the channel. Goes a very long way. Let's go to our main man, Cayden Steele, set to join us right now on Birds 365 following preseason game number 1. He was down at the game last night. Cayden, welcome to the show, man. A Football Friday edition. Football is back in Philadelphia. How you doing, Cayden?
It's going well. I mean, I can sense the hype on your side. You know,
yeah.
We're 1 week in.
We got to temper. Now all of a sudden I've unleashed a monster.
John's trying to talk me off the ledge over here.
Now he's Steve Smith. He's Anquan Bolden.
When are we getting the gold jacket ready? You know,
yeah, the gold jackets.
Cayden, don't tell me you weren't impressed with Darius Cooper last night.
I was.
We were all impressed.
Right now,
all impressed.
He belongs on the roster. I think there is something there. I'm not ready to declare he's going to be, starting NFL wide receiver, but he looked good.
By the way, congratulations on making bail from the Lincoln Financial Field prison that they lock us in now every night game, it seems. So number one, congratulations. Glad to see you made it back. But yeah, there was a lot of good. But we'll start with the bad, because that's how the game started. And when Joe Burrow and Ja'Marr Chase were out there, it was not pretty. And it started with Kelee Ringo most notably, because he gave up the big touchdown. But I don't think Adoree Jackson played well either at all. That cornerback situation, how do you feel about that?
The biggest winner of last night's game was JaKib Bennett. People have been arguing about whether, what's he brought in for, and it's fair because no one really knows for sure whether he was brought in for depth or to compete. Well, what we saw last night, what they've honestly been seeing in training camp, I mean, it's not been too far off. Both of these cornerbacks have been inconsistent, to say the least. I don't think Kelee has taken the step that people wanted him to. There was a lot of expectations. I think he's the same player that he was last year. The same problems that he had in college. Like, he's obviously physically gifted, but technique-wise, I still think he has problems. I mean, it wasn't specifically in the game, but like in practice, not turning his head, just little things like that where he's not locating the ball. And then, I get it's Ja'Marr Chase. And, of course, Ja'Marr Chase is going to have his wins against Kelee Ringo. He's going to beat a lot of NFL cornerbacks. But on the one out route where he misses the tackle, I mean, that's a tackle that you have to make. It doesn't matter what NFL wide receiver you're going against. Right. It's not like Ja'Marr Chase put this crazy move on him either. It's Kelee Ringo wasn't technically sound. He was a little too high, and it wasn't a good tackle. It was bad tackling technique. He got beat on the previous drive for a 23-yard catch. It was a rough night, and he wasn't just getting beat by Ja'Marr Chase. And then, like you said, Adoree Jackson, it was less noticeable because there wasn't any touchdowns or deep balls. But I mean, everything he was giving up. He was getting beat by Charlie Jones in the middle of the field.
Yeah, Charlie Jones. That ain't Ja'Marr Chase.
No, that's not Ja'Marr Chase. And I think this cornerback room, opposite Quinn Mitchell for the CB2 spot, is a mess unless JaKib Bennett comes in and he's good. I mean, it seems like some people think he is, but he has 3 weeks to learn the defense, and if he can't play well, this truly might be a liability for this team this year, because I don't think Kelee Ringo, based off what I've seen, can be a starter. I mean, he's still young.
What about Eli Ricks? You think Eli should be thrown in the mix a little bit more? I think if he gets that pick 6, the narrative starts to shift, but he dropped it.
I mean, I don't think he's any worse than Kelee Ringo. I mean, I think it might be better. I think I've seen more out of Eli Ricks in a small sample size than I have Kelee Ringo. Like 2023, he played really well at times. I mean, there's context to it, but I thought he played well. I haven't seen Kelee, play to that level. I mean, he flashed a little bit as a rookie as well, but Eli Ricks and Kelee Ringo, in terms of what they've done in the NFL, is not that much different. I know the capital is higher in Kelee Ringo. They traded future third to go get him and stuff. But yeah, I'm not super high on Kelee. Like, I haven't been impressed from the start of training camp. I thought with more reps and more time, that eventually made the light will turn on. But last night was a rough showing. I'm not sure if they're ready to write him off, but it didn't look good.
Sounds like you're closer to writing him off than Johnny Mack is. I'm with you, Cayden. I'm not feeling
my part of mine is, well, I do, the athleticism has always impressed me, but part of it is you can't write him off. But he's got to be in the mix. You gotta because Cayden's right. He's got trouble tracking the football. That's number one to me. And number two, as you pointed out, Nick Sirianni said it after the game. All right, you give it up to Ja'Marr Chase, that's fine, but that's got to be a 16-yard gain, not a 36-yard touchdown.
Yeah, it's not a big deal in general sense because he was playing soft. I mean, he was going to give up that route underneath, but like just the way he went about coming into that tackle, he didn't really break down. Like it was just odd. It didn't look good. He had a rough night just in general. If it was just one play, no, that's whatever. But
I mean, you pointed it out perfectly too. An out route should never go to the house. I mean, and it just did easily too. I was joking last night. It was like the Kentucky Derby. He was eating the dirt off Ja'Marr Chase's shoes, chasing him down to the end zone. What'd you think of Adoree Jackson? Because I didn't think he was much better.
No,
I thought he was worse. Overall, I do. I thought he was worse.
Yeah.
Kelee gave up bigger plays.
Yeah, he gave up the big splash play. Yeah. But I think overall, from play to play, and I'm going to be interested to see the PFF grades when they come out. But by the way, why is NFL, Jesus, not putting out snap counts? I'm concerned about that. Cayden, football wonk. Are they going to take that away from us? But anyway, I'm concerned. But that's inside baseball. But I thought play to play, I thought Adoree was a little bit worse. To your point with Charlie Jones, competition matters.
Yeah,
I mean, I look at Ja'Marr Chase. That's the best receiver in football. Sometimes, depending on the day, I might wake up. I might say it's Jefferson. I might say it's AJ. It's probably Ja'Marr Chase. Coming off last season, won the freaking Triple Crown. It's the best receiver in football. Charlie Jones, I liked him as a broadcaster. I don't know what I like him as a football player. Well, who's Charlie Jones?
Yeah,
that's my concern, the context of it.
Adoree used to be a former track star, and I think that was like his calling card coming out. He was a special athlete at USC.
He was a great athlete.
He's been a solid NFL player at various points. I mean, I know Vic, doesn't love him, but he has been, a solid starter. And I think we've started to see it in practice, though, where he had some good practices, I think, maybe like one or two. And then he starts to get, you see a little more and more where he's getting beat by Jahan Dotson. He can't keep up with the speed of Jahan Dotson. I think Adoree Jackson's just lost a step, like to what he was a couple of years ago, which is not surprising. He's, I don't know. I forget his exact age, but he's almost 30, or if he's 29 or whatever. Like, he's getting up there, at least in corner age. And I just don't think he has it. Like, I did a 53-man roster projection the other day. I think with the cornerback situation now, if Bennett can come in and win the starting job, which is my educated guess now because the rest of the corners aren't playing well, I don't know if Adoree Jackson makes this roster. I mean, like, I like Eli Ricks more. They're not going to get rid of Mac McWilliams.
Yeah, I mentioned that. Adoree could be cornerback 2 or cornerback 7 off the roster because I think if he's not a starter, now that you have Bennett.
Yeah.
Because, Ringo's going to be here because he's a great special teams player at the bare minimum.
Mm-hmm.
In some ways, if Adoree's not a starter, it might be difficult to keep him because you want to keep Mac McWilliams. You want to keep Ricks. And Cooper, obviously, is, you can keep 6 corners because of Cooper's versatility and he can play safety. But it's going to be a tough numbers game. And I'm not sure they have 6 corners worth keeping.
I think right now he's probably – I think he'll be left off. Like, I don't see the role. He's not going to play special teams. Like, I don't think he's going to be your punt returner. I think that's going to be Anaya Smith. Like, I don't see the path for him making the roster if he doesn't win the starting job. Maybe it's a little bit like a Devin White situation where he makes it early and then he asks for a release, week 2 or whatever. I don't think Adoree Jackson finishes the season as an Eagle. I'll put it that way.
All right.
Maybe he
bold prediction from Cayden Steele. I like it.
And he hasn't played well. I mean, it's I think Eli Ricks has played better. I mean, I'm not saying Eli Ricks has been perfect, but I think I don't know. I don't see the point of rostering Adoree Jackson. But yeah, I'm just generally concerned about this corner room. I mean, they took a gamble getting rid of Slay.
That Campbell's not going to work, in my opinion. But
what about this comment here, guys? Is there do you think last night or the way it's developing could change the chance that DeJean moves to the outside to play corner?
See, no evidence. I think Vicks likes him as a safety. I think that's more likely. But panic makes people do panicky things. But he has not taken one rep at outside corner in training camp through 10 practices. Vic seems to like him as a safety.
Yeah, I agree. I think especially when Vic has an idea of what a player is, he's not going to move off of that. They'll find a way to piece this CB2 job together. But I agree with John. I think Vic sees him as a versatile nickel safety, and where he makes his biggest impact is, he's really good at covering, in the middle of the field as well. But I mean, he's also really good at run fits, and he comes downhill, and he's an important member of their run defense. He's probably, we were talking about performances last night. He's probably Makuba's got to get healthy, and we'll see what he is. I have high hopes for him, but he's probably their, best starting safety. It could be their best starting safety, even with Reed Blankenship.
I'd say that about Landon Dickerson is the Eagles' best center, and the Eagles have a Pro Bowl center.
Yeah,
that's sort of like Cooper, because Reed's a good player. But yeah, you're probably right. Cooper's probably their best safety and their best slot corner. And I'm not going to say best outside corner because Quinion, but he'd be in the conversation.
Yeah, and I can't move him. I wouldn't move him to corner because I don't feel good about free safety either. Like I said, I believe in Makuba. I think he's going to be a good player, but he's missed time. I don't know how he's going to be as a rookie.
I believe in him in the long term, Cayden. I want to know 2025 though, when that Super Bowl window is wide open.
And I don't know, and I don't think Sidney Brown is going to be that player. I think he plays with a lot of passion, a lot of excitement, but I think he's still an inconsistent tackler. I think we saw that last night. I don't think he's going to be the guy. I think he's a fantastic, could be a fantastic special teams player in a nice role player in certain situations. I just don't know if he's going to be consistent enough to be a starting safety. And maybe he'll prove me wrong. He's definitely has the athleticism to potentially do it, but I just don't know. I think overall the secondary did not perform that well last night.
No,
certainly not. Yeah. All right. On to the positive. We got the negative, and that's really the main negative was the secondary, I think. The pass rush wasn't great either. We'll get to that later, though. The positive, Eagles have 2 top 10 quarterbacks. True or false? True or false? Fact or crap, Cayden Steele? No, I'm joking. But Tanner McKee, he did a really good job. And I think to me, the most impressive part was I felt that he elevated the people around him. I've never seen Johnny Wilson play better football. I've never seen Anias be more comfortable. Cooper, obviously, we've seen him in practice make plays. Nobody else has. He's elevating everybody around him. That's what great quarterbacks do. I don't want to overstate it, but
he looks good. I mean, I don't want to go overboard and say, he could be. I mean,
he can start in this league. It's not going to be in Philly, but he can start in this league. At least I think.
I'm starting to come around. I think it used to be all right, I don't want to say that because, it's such a small, piece of evidence. He hasn't played much, but it's obvious to the eye that he's super talented. He kind of gives me a little bit of a Nick Foles vibe. Maybe
that works in Philadelphia.
It works. Even if he's not a star, the way he played last night, if you told me that he's the best backup quarterback in the NFL, I believe it. I mean, the arm talent's incredible. He throws a pretty ball. Like
He does, man. I love that throw to the right sideline where he moved outside Matt Pryor and kind of just almost sidearm. I mean, that ball was on a rope to the outside. I forget who caught the ball, but it was a great throw. He does have great arm talent.
he does. And I mean, I'm reading the Saints quarterback competition, reading some of the stuff on about Tyler Shuck struggling and Spencer Rattler being laid.
Well, Kellen
yeah, I mean,
Moore,
the Colts are going between Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones. Like I hear that, I'm like, yeah, I think Tanner McKee can probably start somewhere in this.
Daniel Jones is significantly better than Anthony Richardson. How bad is that situation for Shane Steichen? And you mentioned New Orleans with Kellen Moore, all our old friends. My God, Kellen Moore might talk Mickey Loomis because they're going to be terrible this year.
The grass isn't always greener, John.
To give up the #1 overall pick for Tanner McKee. Who knows?
Hey, maybe, John. Maybe.
Yeah. But he played great. The one thing I want to see with Tanner McKee, and I've yet to see it, and maybe I'm missing, maybe you remember something. He's not, and it's again, we haven't seen him play that much. Week 18, preseason a little bit. He's never really had to hold up against a strong pass rush. And, that was the knock on him coming out of Stanford, why it lasted as long as he did, his footwork, pressure. Can he move? He's never going to be Jalen Hurts, but can he show functional mobility to at least manipulate the pocket? I still want to see that. But when he's got time, he's good.
He's good. I agree. That's the thing that you have to question, though, because we haven't seen that. I mean, at least with the Eagles, I mean, he might not be in the situation where he has to, extend plays.
Yeah.
But that is the knock. How many quarterbacks in the NFL now? And I haven't seen it. Maybe he could do it. But how many quarterbacks in the NFL now are like pure just statues in the pocket and then don't move? Like I maybe that's the concern that
I don't know. I thought he had good pocket awareness last night. Again, you're not playing great edge rush. I get that. You're not playing a great NFL pass rush, but I thought he sensed the pressure well. I thought he rolled out when he needed to. I thought he threw from the run a couple plays that were nice. I mean, I got the feel that he was comfortable in the pocket. Some people have good pocket awareness. They're good pocket presence. I felt like he had that.
Yeah, that's fair. And I mean, you don't have to, run for 100 yards. I mean, if you could just move just enough.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I don't. Jalen Hurts.
I'm not talking about being a run. I'm talking about just doing that little extra, like Tom Brady. Manipulate the pocket, not like Tom Brady, but my point. Tom couldn't run, but functional. It's funny because I was looking up Darius Cooper, so I looked up Tanner McKee, his scouting report coming out. And that's exactly. However, the heavy feet and a lack of agility limit his effectiveness outside of the pocket and make him a magnet for pass rushers and when protection becomes spotty. His lack of functional mobility may have the lack of functional mobility to make it in today's NFL. So that was the knocks of him coming out of Stanford. I don't know if those have been answered, but I'll tell you, I'd like guys that can process. I like it, especially when you have a good offensive line, and the Eagles have a good offensive line. Yeah. So if he's forced to play, I like guys that can process, and he can process.
They gave up a third-round pick for no reason last year when they traded for Kenny Pickett because he was better than Kenny Pickett last summer. He's even better this summer. He just looks so composed. He makes everything look easy. And just,
he's smart. All those Stanford guys.
Yeah, Stanford. Smart. Yeah, 100%.
And his ball placement. I mean, you mentioned Johnny Wilson. His ball placement is incredible.
Oh yeah,
he gets it right where it needs to be, where a defender can't get it. Like his ball placement, his accuracy, his timing, like his feel for things. Like, yeah, I've come around that he's probably an NFL starter, which is a great, valuable trade piece to have, and it'll be a fun conversation to probably have next offseason, especially if he plays some games this year, if Jalen gets hurt or something.
Yes, next offseason, not now, because people are already trying to start that conversation. It's very clear, as well as Tanner McKee played, it's very clear Dorian Thompson-Robinson and Kyle McCord are not ready to play if they have to. And the history of Jalen Hurts, he's been a starter for 4 seasons. He's only played 17 games one of those seasons. So you're probably going to need him for 1 or 2 games. And those guys can't be the backup right now.
No. I mean, Kyle McCord hasn't impressed me yet. I've seen some decent throws in training camp, but, like, he does not look ready. I mean,
No, he doesn't.
Dorian Thompson-Robinson's been better, but he's thrown like 1 touchdown to 10 interceptions.
He's so inconsistent. He's so inconsistent. Yeah, he'll throw a good throw, and then the next throw is just, Charlie Sheen from, whatever prison he did Major League. The accuracy's just not there with Thompson Robinson.
No, and they'll probably keep 3 quarterbacks, but I mean, I don't think either player's worthy of making the roster. Like, I don't think Kyle McCord's done enough to make the roster, or Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
I still think McCord's making it because Howie doesn't want to.
Yeah, draft pick, right?
Howie doesn't want to risk him.
Speaking of draft picks, Cayden, what'd you see last night from JAKIB Campbell, who I thought not as great as, like, a couple things there, but one thing I did notice is he was around the ball a lot. He was always around the ball when he was on there. I think that's a good thing for a linebacker. What'd you see from JAKIB Campbell in his first outing?
Yeah, I mean, I think the dropped interception probably overshadowed a lot of his performance. I mean, it was so close. I mean, it was right there. Obviously, when he rolled back over, he lost control of it. But
fundamentals, according to Nick. You
yes.
Can't. Yeah. So, but he was in a position. Yeah. Now, I put a lot into, because this has happened in practice as well. Like, Small Munden's ahead of him. Does that concern you? They started Small Munden, and they've been giving him more high leverage snaps in practice. Does that concern you at all?
I'll be curious to talk about it when we talk to Vic next time. Does he trust Small Munden? And I mean, Small Munden didn't play the best last night, some missed tackles as well. But, like, does he trust Small Munden in terms of processing more right now? His ability to see things?
Seems like it.
That at least is like the indication it gives off a little bit. And perhaps that's an area where JAKIB needs to improve. I mean, that was kind of a little bit of the knock in some people's scouting report coming out, like, great athlete, can do a lot of different things. Like, it's got a credible ceiling, but, he needs to get a little more. And he came into Alabama as an edge rusher. I mean, people forget that. He's not an NFL edge rusher, but he's still a little new to linebacker. Like, is he ready in that area? I'm not sure. But in terms of just how he played last night, I mean, the stat sheet wasn't filled, and I still think he has improvement. But when you just look at him physically and the way he moves, he is so incredible, the way he runs.
Yeah.
And that's the one part I get. And you mentioned being around the ball. I think I talked to Josh Uche after the game, and he said that, I mean, he dropped the interception, obviously, and things like that. But that's the most important thing, is that he just flies around like 100 miles an hour, and he's always near things. I think JAKIB Campbell has an incredibly high ceiling. He was pretty impressive physically last night. But it is interesting, to John's point, that the Eagles have been not seeming to give him first-team reps always over Smile, always over Trotter. And I figured that he would be the week 1 starter. I'm not sure yet. I think he might be more of a sub-package role until they feel more comfortable with him. Or maybe they use him as a Swiss Army knife. Like, I don't know. I mean, Vic has clearly stated he doesn't think he's ready to be an edge rusher. He's got 3 more weeks to maybe show something in that department to be used in that type of role. I'm fascinated with JAKIB Campbell. I think the ceiling is through the roof, but maybe we need to temper expectations for what his rookie season might look like.
Certainly early. I'm leaning towards Trotter being the starter week 1 next to Zach Vaughn, because he keeps doing a good job, solid job, and he did last night, I think, as well. One guy who impressed me, who hasn't impressed me that much in practice, but I think he turned it on, was Ty Robinson. He played a lot, showed up, because I think he struggled in camp pretty significantly at times. And all of a sudden they threw him into the deep end and said, hey, you go get a bunch of reps. And he's a physical guy, so I think he shows up a little bit better when the pads are on, when it's live. What'd you think of Ty Robinson?
Yeah, he heard your criticism, and the light turned on from him. You're the reason that he played well.
Yeah, probably. That's not the first time I heard that. Those guys give me the dirty stink eye in the locker room.
All kidding aside, he played well. I mean, the 1 sack, it helped that, it was a little bit of a free sack. But overall, I thought he played well. And maybe it's not and I saw some of what you were saying in practice where, like, the get off wasn't necessarily there. It seemed a little, sluggish and just in terms of.
Well, Cayden, he's got great, like, he tested like a great athlete.
He does.
Like but I didn't see it translating on the field. Did you see it translate? I was like, where's this explosion? Where is this athletic profile? I hadn't seen that.
Not at practice, but I saw it last night. And maybe it's what Vic said. I think someone asked him, Vic, about
that was me. That was me. Yeah.
He said something about, like, reacting to things. So maybe it's not a lack of athleticism. Maybe it was a lack of confidence in his ability to react to the snap count.
Yeah, exactly.
Know what's going on.
Playing slow. Yeah, I think it was playing slow. He's not. And now he's getting more comfortable and it will start to show up.
He looks like a player too, at least from last night. He's obviously got to put it together consistently, but he tested extremely well. He's physical. I think he's versatile. I mean, he could do a lot of different things, and I thought he played well last night. He impressed me a lot, and I'm interested to see where he goes forward. I mean, he figures to probably be the fourth defensive tackle in the rotation.
Well, I wouldn't close the door on Gabe Hall. He played a lot too, and he played pretty well.
He did, yeah.
He's got some versatility too, because Spick's been, because of the edge rushing situation. We have to talk about that. You see some of these defensive tackles getting the occasional rep outside because they're better at defensive tackle.
Yeah,
is that a good thing or a bad thing? I do not like this edge rushing room at all, Except Nolan. Nolan's a good player. I like the upside of Jalen Hunt. I have to throw that in, but why is he a deference player, Cayden? Why? Jalen Hunt is a deference player. That scares me because the Eagles we can't lose Jalen Hunt because everybody behind him is. You said it, not me.
I mean, we've seen it in practice. Obviously, Vic knows. I mean, yes, he does like versatility in his front, but I mean, he's been lining up more Joma and Jalen Carter on the edge, which tells you a little bit that he doesn't think he's getting enough, or he won't get enough pass rush juice on the outside consistently.
That's frightening, by the way. That is frightening to be. That should be frightening to people.
Of all the backup rotational type edge rushers, I think Uche could play a little bit, but I feel more comfortable with him as your fourth or fifth guy in the rotation. I think he deserves a roster spot, but
who deserves a roster spot? Patrick Johnson.
Come on, get by into He's a great
sport. Was buying none of that.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. Look, he doesn't have the upside. I get it, but at some point, and I said this earlier in the show, Cayden, at some point, if you're better in practice and you're better in the games, maybe you're better than Josh Uche and Azeez Ojulari. Because all right, Josh did what he did in 2022. I think it's 2025. That's, pretty much in the rearview mirror. Azeez was great at Georgia. All right. Patrick Johnson plays better in practice. He plays better in the game. Why is he not better? Tell me, Cayden.
Yeah, I think Uche's had some good practices. So I'm not as much on that train, but I will say about Azeez Ojulari, he's been invisible for the most part during practices, other than like 1 or 2 reps here and there. Like, I've been disappointed. I really did think that Azeez Ojulari would be a potential, gem. Like, the injury history, lengthy and concerning, but like, this is a guy that was on pace for double-digit sacks before he got hurt last season. He's been a pretty productive NFL player. He was a really good prospect coming out of college, but if you go back to his injury history, it dates all the way back to high school when he had torn ACL before he went to Georgia. Like, is this just a situation where just so many injuries over a period of time, the body's just breaking down and he's just not as explosive as he used to be? Because I haven't seen much from Azeez Ojulari yet, and he's a guy I had high hopes for. But through 1 week of preseason, I mean, talk about Adoree Jackson not making this roster. I don't know if Azeez Ojulari deserves to be on this roster, but they don't have many better options. Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. An edge rusher who's not on this
trade.
An edge rusher who's not on this team will be on this team by week 1, and maybe that's the guy who knocks off Azeez Ojulari off the roster, and maybe it's some combination of Uche, some guy not on the roster now, and Patrick Johnson or whoever.
What about Obo? It's not Ogbo. Evidently, it's OHBO. So what would you say, Obo? That's how I pronounce. But anyway, what do you think about him as under the radar? If they can't go outside the organization, you think he can push those guys off the roster?
I think he can push Azeez off the roster. I mean,
well, you're not liking Azeez, Cayden. You're looking for any way to get him off the roster.
I like the way he was with the Giants. I had high hopes. It's hard for me to say he's worthy of a roster spot when I haven't seen him make a lot of plays in training camp.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm not criticizing you for it. I'm just trying. You know what I mean? I think it's fair.
And either has Ogbo to a certain extent. He hasn't made a lot of plays, but I would say the difference is he hasn't made a ton of plays. But at least when I see him get off the line of scrimmage, like he's got an explosive first step. Like you could tell there's like some athleticism there. I don't know, how the rest of his game is. I would have to look more into his film from the last couple of years, like how he is as a run defender and stuff. But like there might be some juice there as a pass rusher. But I mean, if we're just taking the group, I know. Like, it doesn't make me feel good because I'm saying maybe there's a smidge there for him that he can be a decent he plays 10 snaps or something. Like I don't feel good about this group. I think they need to make a move here. And look, Vic had an incredible defense last year, but he also had a lot of really good pieces. I don't think this defense is going to be as good this year, especially with my concerns at corner and edge rush depth. They got to make a
rank
move.
Those concerns. I want you to rank those concerns: edge, corner, safety.
Probably. I mean, corner looks really bad right now, so I want to say corner 1, but I do think a really good edge rush can cover up some problems at corner.
Yeah. Exactly. That's my thing. It's a compounding problem because one is no good. It makes the other one worse.
Well, the other, you could help the pass rushing with good coverage, but that seems out the window. So you better find a edge rusher. I agree with you. To me, it's edge rusher 1. Corner 2, safety 3.
Yeah, that's fair.
But a lot, I don't have. If somebody put corner, I couldn't blame them after last night. Number 1, there's a lot of concerns with this defense. Now, hopefully, when the real players are out there, the Jalen Carters, the Nolan Smiths, the Zach Bonds, the Reed Blank, it's going to make everybody else look better, and maybe you can persevere through with the Sidney Browns and Ringos or Bennett's and Uche. They'll look better when those guys are out there. But look, every position, they're going to have trouble replacing Josh, Milton, Slay, Nakobe, CJ. Every single one of them. It's going to be difficult.
Yeah, it is. And there's definitely more liabilities this year that Vic's going to have to work around. And who knows? Maybe, like I said earlier, maybe it all works out. Ja'Cory Bennett comes in, he's really good, and Makuba takes the next step as a rookie, and he develops into an outstanding player. And
Jihad gets starts clicking. Yeah, there's some upside. I mean, Bennett, though. I mean, come on, we don't know anything about Bennett, and everybody's just assuming.
Other than that, he played okay in the time that he played last year, John.
Very limited snap count, but there's a little bit of Isaiah Rodgers in him because Isaiah did that in Indy. Limited snap count, played well, and turned out to be a pretty good player here with a limited snap count. But
maybe they should have just kept Isaiah Rodgers. He didn't.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they look because of his size deficiencies. I don't think they look at him as a starter.
No.
And it's hard to pay $8 million to a third corner. So, but if you believe he could be a starter, and that's what he's going to be a starter in Minnesota, and he plays well, then it's going to look really bad. But I kind of agree with the Eagles. I don't think he's a full-time starter. Like, you need somebody who can play 1,000 snaps.
Yeah,
They don't have that player right now.
going into the draft, I mean, I know they took McWilliams, and I've actually been pretty impressed with him.
I like him a lot.
I do too.
You know, I think he's going to be a slot guy.
Put him in the slot, kick Cooper to the outside.
I thought they might draft a corner. I thought that was like a wild card coming in because I
agree, Cayden.
I think Cooper's playing safety, man.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they've showed anything to say that. I'm just wondering what they can do. One guy who will make the team, though, Cayden, it's got to be Darius Cooper. Come on, I know you're looking like they're gonna have to keep this guy, Darius Cooper.
They might have to because the way he played last night, and obviously he's got to do it again and be consistent throughout these next 2 games. If he continues to play the way he did last night, he's not getting through waivers. Okay, that happens every year with players, I agree, but the difference to me is that
every year the Eagles are going to lose 15 players on waivers. It generally doesn't happen. But
no, it doesn't. But he's super explosive. I mean,
he's good. Yeah, I like him.
I was reading the scouting report from NFL media. I don't want to pick on NFL because Lance does a great job, but he lacks separation. All he's done is get separation
every day at practice. And then like his ability, there was one player practice a couple of weeks ago where he had a kickoff return, and I know it's thud and they're not, but 50 yards down the field, he's just explosive with the ball in his hands. He's good after the catch, and he separates. He seems like a pretty good route runner. I think they found something there. I mean, you got to feel bad a little bit for Elijah Cooks. I mean, he was having a great camp, got banged up last night.
Yeah, he got carted off. Kenyon Green got carted off. Sidney got hurt. So we have to see how some of these injuries, how serious they are.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Eagles don't have to update injuries during games in the preseason, but we'll get that information as it comes in. But somebody like Elijah was playing good, but man,
that's probably the end of Elijah.
The way Darius, that could be another waived injured situation if he's going to miss practice because they, need bodies, especially with Cleveland coming in.
Yeah.
And you got Johnny playing well, Nice playing well, and now Darius Cooper. It's going to be
tough. Good for Johnny Wilson last night. I mean, you haven't seen him make those types of plays in practice. I mean,
he's the best I've ever seen him play, Johnny Wilson, by far.
He looked like the player that you thought maybe that's where the upside was, like a contestant.
Right, exactly.
He hasn't done that in practice though.
So his body. We said, you're 6'6", dude. Use your big frame. Go and use it. So he did. Cayden, good stuff, man. We're at the end of the show. We appreciate you doing it today, as always. Great takeaways, my friend. Make sure you guys follow Cayden on X. Read all his work at nj.com. Cayden, we appreciate it, brother. We'll talk to you again soon. All right, man.
All right. Glad you got out of jail last night too. Glad.
All right, good stuff. Cayden Steele joining us right here on Birds 365. Great show today. Wrapping up the first game of the Eagles season. I know it's a preseason game, but John, last time we did one of those shows last night, they were Super Bowl champs. So it's always fun to get back into the new year.
They are still the reigning Super Bowl champs as well. Still the reigning Super Bowl champs. Not defending, reigning.
I like that. There you go. It's a good one. I'm good with that word. John, your final couple thoughts, man, on the game last night, on the shows that we had this week, and then kind of what's next for the Eagles. If you want to just give like a quick outlook of what's to come.
Oh boy, I haven't looked. They're back on the practice field tomorrow. The open practice is Sunday night at Lincoln Financial Field, which is sold out. I don't know what that means. I don't think they're opening the whole stadium, but evidently people are selling tickets on the secondary market. So a lot of hype about this team. Monday, I believe they have a day off. Then they're Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 3 consecutive practices. So we'll be back in the training camp grind. And the big news is Cleveland and Cleveland coming in Wednesday and Thursday for joint practices. So that'll be very important, especially for the key players, the starters, because they're going to get all their work in those joint practices. That's been the history of Nick Sirianni, and no work in the preseason game. So, it's going to be big for the key players.
Good stuff. Johnny Mac, great week of shows, brother. We will catch you probably with a little bit of a little conversation tomorrow for practice. Sunday, they got the open practice to everybody. So the workload is ramped up. The season is upon us. Johnny Mac, great show today, brother. I'll catch you tomorrow.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thanks, Jay Mac. There's Johnny Mac, John McMullen, the #1 Eagles beat reporter. All right, give him a follow at JF McMullen. And a great show today, a great recap of this team and of the game last night. Eagles got the win. Winning is a habit, and the Eagles clearly have that habit down pat.